Good morning. My name is Arabeth Balasko, and I'm going to be interviewing you today. The following answers will be solely your expressed opinion and will be used as part of a public website and/or blog. Thank you for agreeing to be interviewed for this oral history project. Let's begin the interview. Could you please tell me your name?
Eugene Kelley.
Eugene, can you please tell me how old you are?
70.
And can you tell me where you're living or where you're from?
I'm originally from Fairleigh, but I went to school all 12 years in Ronceverte and been in Ronceverte, I guess, really all my life except for 7 years I went to Newport News. I live in Ronceverte now and been living here, been in business here in Ronceverte since 1979.
Great. As a long-term resident of Ronceverte and also a businessman of Ronceverte, how do you personally feel that the town and community has changed over the last 50 years?
Well, I think that they've lost a lot of businesses and a lot of things that used to be here. I mean, the sawmill used to be here, and of course the depot over here, and the passenger trains came and went. We had 3 or 4 motels and hotels here and 2 drugstores.
Can you tell me when you saw a big shift in that change? Like there was lots of businesses, it seems, that you were describing, and now unfortunately downtown there are still businesses, but clearly not as many. Can you tell me when you think that that shift probably happened?
Well, it seemed like it probably started losing businesses and stuff in the late 60s and maybe the early 70s, but now it seems like, I don't know, it's been coming back in a way, but it's not ever going to come back the way it was because there's just not going to be those type of businesses here or any reason for them to be here. Because I mean, you're not going to get those jewelry stores back in Western Auto and no motels and hotels down here like it used to be.
Why do you think that in the late 60s or early 70s that those businesses kind of shifted out of downtown Ronceverte?
Well, I think one of the big things was the interstate going through because it cut a lot of traffic through here out. And other than that, I really don't know.
Do you think that Ronceverte's more isolated now than it used to be? Because I know even reading, old history books or different things, Ronceverte was the it place to come with the farmer's market and the train and all these things. Why do you personally think that that changed?
Well, like I said, one thing I think was the interstate, and the other thing is because you got a lot of big businesses like Walmart and so on that went to Lewisburg, moved in the places up there. A lot of traffic went out here. We used to have the stockyards down here, and now it moved out and it's down Caldwell.
Can you tell me what those were, the stockyards?
Well, that's where they had the cattle sale and horse sales and hogs and so on and so forth.
Do you know when that moved out to Caldwell?
No, I really don't.
So it seems that Ronceverte was...
It was originally across the railroad track, and then it moved up above the armory, and then it caught on fire, and that's whenever they left, I guess. I don't remember when that was.
Because it does, I mean, just from your descriptions, it seemed that Ronceverte was booming with so much business, and it's just, now today, like you said, it's making a resurgence, but it's taking some time.
Well, yes, when I arrived, I mean, we had the Coca-Cola plant down here, had Ripco that delivered milk all over Greenboro County because I worked on the milk truck from in 7th grade.
Oh, wow. Will you tell us about that?
Saturdays.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Of course, back then, it was delivered milk door to door, and they picked me up at my house at Fairleigh whenever it come up to my house, and I helped the guy deliver on Saturdays in Lewisburg, and you took, the milk was in the covered with ice, and you took the new milk, set it on the porch, and got the milk bottles that they left, which some of them wasn't too clean, kind of stinking white. But that's one of my first jobs that I had, was working on the Ripco milk truck.
Well, that's an awesome job. Did they pay you for that?
Yes, I got paid, I don't know, 75 cents an hour or something, maybe.
That's good. Eugene, do you feel that the town's changes have had a positive, negative, or neutral effect on Ronceverte?
Well, I think it's made a negative effect because, you know, you've lost all those businesses, and whenever you lost a business, you lost some of the population out of Ronceverte, and you definitely lost the traffic that used to be through here. And it used to be, you know, the streets were filled up with people down here, especially on weekends, and you don't have that anymore, so.
Eugene, why do you believe that you have remained in Ronceverte, West Virginia, for the extent of your life?
Well, one reason, I guess, is because it's always been good people in Ronceverte. I mean, whenever I was growing up, people was good to you. And I left here and went to Newport News, like I said, for 7 years. And I didn't like it whenever you went out in the yard and your neighbor didn't speak to you or anything else. And Ronceverte's always been a nice place to live. The people's been good. They'll help you out if you need help. And that's one reason I guess I like it here.
And so is that one of the reasons that attracted you to remain in this area?
Yes.
What other types of things? Because I know you said that you're a businessman. What's one reason that you decided you wanted to keep your business in Ronceverte instead of moving it to, like you said, a lot of the other businesses moved towards Fairleigh or Lewisburg? What made you want to stay in Ronceverte?
Well, I guess because one thing is a lot cheaper rent down here than it is in Lewisburg. And another thing, I like the people in Ronceverte.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about your business and what your idea or your business plan is?
Well, right now my business plan is I'm just sort of semi-retired.
Okay. That's good.
I work whenever I do the surveys that I want. The survey businesses went down because of a lot of reasons. And so I work whenever I want. If I get a survey that I don't want, I don't take it. So I work a little bit. I play golf a little bit.
Well, that's a good life.
But I mean, you know, before it was good here. I had a lot of business. I mean, all in Greenboro County, Monroe County. And that's another thing. By being in Ronceverte, I was, like I said, I had a lot of business in Monroe County, so I had to go to the courthouse and stuff in Union. And of course, in Summers County, go to Hinton. So I was sort of close to all the courthouses here, more so than being in Lewisburg.
And have you always been a surveyor, Eugene?
No, I worked for the Department of Highways for 8 years. I got my survey license in 1973. I started surveying in 68. So I got my license in 73 and went in business in 79. So I guess that's most of my life.
That's good.
That's most of my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. And you were also mayor of the town. Is that correct?
Yes, for three years.
Can you tell me a little bit about that experience?
Well, it was good and it was bad. I mean, you know, it wasn't no big paying job. I got $25 a month for being mayor. You get a lot of headaches. Everybody griping about the water bills and the tickets that the police gave and so on and so forth. That was some of the bad things. One of the good things that I think happened was I got this street down on Edgar Avenue we did it whenever I was mayor.
Oh wow! So like redid it or to make it more accessible?
That was one of the first downtown, you know, where they started the streets things and everything.
Oh
that
wow!
was the first one.
That's great.
Which I think that was in 1990. That's where you got all these new street lights that you got up there and the brick sidewalks and.
That's great. Did you so you were mayor from what years again?
1989, 90, 91.
Oh, okay. And what is one of your favorite memories of being mayor? I know you said you were proud of the accomplishments with the streets and the street lights, but what's either a funny memory or something that sticks out in your mind during your service time?
I don't know, really.
Not sure? Okay, that's okay. We'll come back to that. Eugene, can you please share a memory? I know you told me about being on the milk truck, but can you please share another memory that you have growing up in Ronceverte?
Well, I guess most of my memories was whenever I was a child and in high school playing sports and so on and so forth. One of the big memories that I remember John Kennedy coming down here and had a big crowd at the depot whenever he's running for president. And I also remember whenever I was 8 or 9 years old, catching the train here at Ronceverte and with the Little League and going to Washington, D.C. to see the Major League Baseball game. And spending 2 days up there and seeing the Washington Monument and all the things that's in Washington. And then the next year we caught the train and went to Cincinnati, which, you know, there's no train now. I mean, no Amtrak don't even stop here. They stop in Alderson, but not here.
Can you tell me when the train stopped running through here? Do you know around what time?
I really don't.
So then when you were able to take the train from here, was it just at the depot?
Yeah, you got the train here at the depot. I mean, they stopped here, the passenger train stopped here all the time, picked up people.
And took them just all around.
Yeah, I mean, the waiting room and everything's over there in the depot now. And that's a bad thing that depot's sitting there going downhill. And all the other towns have got their depot and we can't have ours. So I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't understand a lot of things with the railroad.
Yeah, unfortunately. Can you please share a recent memory you have of your time here at Ronceverte? And it can be any type of a personal memory or just a city memory.
My most recent memory that I'm sort of really proud of is they had applied for a grant to get a track built, a walking track, and it had to be 1/4 mile long in order to qualify to get the grant money. So I'm proud that I designed and laid out this track over on the island, because it's not like a normal track. It's not just oval-like or circle-like. It's all different shape to get 1/4 miles and in through all those buckeye trees and stuff, so I wouldn't have to destroy the trees. So I think I'm proud of that layout for that track.
Yeah, I've seen that track over by the Island Park pool that's now the garden, right? Yeah, it's beautiful.
It took a lot to get through the trees so you wouldn't have to destroy them, and around the swimming pool and around everything over there. And I think I'm sort of proud of that.
Yeah.
Design it on that track.
How long did it take you to design that?
I guess off and on it's about a year.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'd go over and try to do one thing, and then here was a buckeye tree, or here was to get too close to the race over there, or too close to the pool. But it probably took a year total.
Well, it speaks a lot that you're trying to preserve the natural beauty that is over at the park. So I think that's great. Eugene, can you please share a picture that you brought with you today?
I'm going to share this picture.
Can you tell me a little bit about it?
This is the picture of the 1962 Greenbrier High School basketball team. And we won the regional and the area and sectional tournament, and we went to the state tournament in Morgantown and got beat by Chatteroy, who I don't know, never heard of them before and hadn't heard of them since. but that's the big picture that was up on. They took our picture and it was on the wall at the high school, and then up there on the wall when it was a junior high. And I had it down at the office here for the past 15 years, and so also in this picture, our coach there was Toddy Loudon.
And which one was he? That gentleman there?
This is Toddy Loudon. That was our coach. The other man here was the principal, Dominic Gardine of the high school. Well, the other picture I have here sort of ties in with this. Around 1955, I think it is, that this picture was made up here at the Armory. And that's whenever Toddy Loudon, the coach, in this other picture, started the midget basketball league in Ronceverte.
What's that?
Now
For little?
It's like, they was different age classes. It was like 6 to 8 year old, and 8 to 10, and 10 to 12, which is now the Lions Club basketball. This is around, I think it was around 1955 that he started this up here in the Armory. And there's 12 people in this high school basketball picture, and now there's 12, 11 of them is in this picture of the Major League
kids,
basketball
yes.
team.
Wow, well, that's saying something. Eugene, why do you feel that these pictures best represent your life, Ronceverte?
Well, I guess, like I said, the times I remember was playing sports in high school, and started football on the start team for 3 years. I played on the basketball team. I played little league ball down here. Played midget basketball league, and I guess my most memories is the good times that I had playing sports and going to high school down here. And back then, you had a lot of big rivalries between Lewisburg and White Sulphur and Ronceverte and Alderson, which you don't have anymore, which is bad. Now, that's another thing that probably hurt these small towns, is whenever they took the high schools and grade school and elementary schools out of. I mean, that didn't help the towns either.
Can you share just one last memory or hope or wish that you have for the future Ronceverte?
Well, like I said, it'll never be the big business place that it used to be. But I think what they need to do, I hope someday that they can, like I said, they really need to get the depot and make a nice thing into that, maybe, and get some small shops down here, and maybe they'll upgrade 219, and that'll bring traffic back through here, and they could have some small shops and stuff like they have in Lewisburg.
Thank you so much, Eugene. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.